Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. So I'm quite excited to share this footage with you from this particular painting. I'll talk more about the painting as we go into the actual process part, but I just wanted to say I'm going to be sharing some interesting facts with you today about pregnancy. Now, I know that might sound a bit random, but I asked for this book for Christmas, just because everyone asks for books like this for Christmas when they're not pregnant and they don't know anyone that's pregnant and they're not a nurse or anything. But yeah, I asked for this for Christmas because I've become really fascinated with how the female body has been created. And yeah, so I thought I would share some facts as we go along, facts that I've learned from this book. I've only got so far in it. I'm still quite, I'm only on page 37. So I'm only like here in the book and I've already learnt so much. So I'm excited to share a few facts with you and yeah, let's get into it. Right, so time to share some of the interesting facts. I'm going to leave the one that I found the most interesting until the end, just because I think it deserves the build-up. So the first one is that during pregnancy, a woman's heart rate increases by up to 15 beats per minute, and the overall volume of blood circulating increases by up to 50% to supply the growing fetus with all that it needs. When I first read this, I just thought that it was absolutely insane, really, that a woman's body is capable of creating or making that much more blood flow through the body without, toppling over. Because to increase blood circulation by up to 50%, I mean, surely to some degree you can feel that, but for it to be buffered just by the body, because that is what women have been created to be able to do, I just think it's so cool, really, just amazing. So, on to fact number 2. Oxygen consumption increases over the course of pregnancy, and a woman's breathing rate will rise to up to 18 breaths per minute as opposed to 12 to 15. Once again, this is a thing that I am aware of, in the sense of that, oftentimes you hear of women saying that they're out of breath. So I assume that the oxygen consumption increases because of the lack of breath, because they're having to make more, take in more oxygen for the baby as well as for themselves. And also, I imagine as the pregnancy progresses and the baby gets larger, it's, naturally it's heavier to carry around, and discomfort and pushing on parts of your body, and in general just changing the way that a woman would breathe. But once again, really fascinating that the body is capable of withstanding something like that. Okay, now time for fact number 3. So this one is to do with the head and the face of a fetus. So the head and face start developing early in pregnancy. Eye buds and passageways that will become ears start developing on the side of the head at about the 6th week. What I found interesting also is that in the early stages, the fetus is very top heavy. So, for example, at 11 weeks, its head is half of its total body length. I mean, that is wild, really. It's just funny. And I think that's, in the nicest way. I mean, we've all been there, we've all been fetuses. So I just find it, that's probably the weird kind of, shall we say, alien stage that we all go through in our development before we blossom into, fully developed babies. But yeah, thought that was an interesting one too. Okay, and the second to last fact, which I actually found quite interesting because I've heard of the two terms, but I didn't know which one was for what stage and so on. But this is with regard to embryo versus fetus. So the baby starts off as an embryo, but from the 10th week, the embryo is termed a fetus, which is something I had no idea about. But now we all know. From the 10th week, the embryo is no longer an embryo. It is now a fetus. And for the last fact, I really hope it was worth the wait because I think it is really fascinating and I think it will really change the game if I ever have a daughter in the future. I think this has increased my respect for how women have been created. I think it's increased my appreciation for God's creation. It's increased just my awe in general about biology and just our general makeup. And the fact is, at birth, the ovaries of a baby girl contain 1 to 2 million immature eggs. Now, I don't know about you, and especially for any females that are listening, but maybe also for men. I have never considered the concept of how eggs develop within a woman's body prior to puberty. I'm sure if somebody had asked me before I read this, I probably would have said, oh, they develop at some point, within the body. I would never have imagined that a little baby girl holds within her immature eggs already. And what really struck me about this is that, what I was trying to explain when I told my mum and my dad this, I was saying, when you hold a baby girl, you are essentially connecting in some way with future generations. And that is the wildest thing that I've ever, the wildest realization. You make a child, you make a baby girl, but you're not just bringing her into the world. You are creating future generations, and the future, there is within her, there is an element of future generations. There is a sign of the future that she holds within her. And I think that is absolutely incredible, absolutely insane. And it's probably going to be the reason why I cry so much in the future if I have a daughter, because I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, future generations are within her. This is so insane. It's just crazy to think that someone so small, a little tiny human, holds this key to future generations. Isn't that cool? I just think that's amazing. So amazing. And there's this song called The Blessing, and there's so many different versions of it that came out last year during the first lockdown in the UK. There's, every language you can imagine. There's French versions, there's ones from churches in America, there's ones in different African languages and dialects, and it's just, there's just so many versions. You could honestly just spend the whole day watching different people from different places singing this song. And the song essentially says, it's based on a piece of scripture which I can't remember off the top of my head, but the idea is basically may the favor of God be with you and your children and their children and their children. And I was watching this this sermon maybe a month or so ago, and this lady who's pregnant, and they have this wonderful story of how they were trying to conceive for years and years, and then they ended up having two boys, not twins, but two boys, and then they've wanted a girl for so long, and now they're having their first baby girl. And she's explained that she was singing that song during the service, and the realization came to her that she wasn't just singing it to her daughter, but essentially it was like praying a blessing over her child and the children that are to come through her daughter. And I thought that was just such an insane image that it created in my head, so crazy that that you can pray for future generations in that way, because there is this connection. And I think it makes the song so much more beautiful. But yeah, I really hope you have enjoyed this video. I've really enjoyed making this video, and I've enjoyed sharing these wonderful facts with you. And I will see you in the next one. Take care. And if you know any interesting facts about babies that I may not know, then please do let me know. And I guess if I have any other future facts that I want to share, maybe I'll do another video, paint another picture of a pregnant lady. We'll see. But yeah, take care.